What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistics here. It's episode number 73, and today we start off with the first leg of our Carabao Cup semi-final away at the Etihad against Manchester City. Of course, last season lost their reign as Premier League champions after, 4 straight title wins in the save to Liverpool. And of course, this being our competition as well, first time in the save we won the Carabao Cup, because it was the first time in the save we took it semi-seriously, you know. So this season, no different. In the earlier rounds, we were fielding the weakened sides, but now we get to the semi-final. The final four, of course, we would pick a really strong lineup for it. And I think that's the best way to go about it in this competition as well, because when we're competing for 4 different trophies in this season, obviously we've got a lot of squad depth now. We've made a point of really trying to improve the quality in depth in this team, which we've definitely done. When we first took over, if you remember, in the first season, we had our first 11, which was fantastic. We had a decent bench, and then the reserves, there was just no one in there. But now we've got some great quality in the reserves as well as on the bench as well. But I still want to pick a really strong lineup for the game, because I want to retain this competition. I want to keep our slim quadruple dreams alive, because they'll always be slim until we get towards the latter end of the season. But taking on Man City, again, one of the best teams in England, have been the best team in England consistently in the save so far. Though, of course, last season and this season, not currently looking as good in the Premier League. They would take the lead through. That man, once again, I don't know who scored more goals against me in this save, but I tell you, the top 2 players that are right now probably neck and neck for most goals scored against me: Bruno Fernandes, my arch nemesis with Manchester United, and of course, Gabriel Jesus of the Sky Blues. This guy always seems to score against me. He made it 1-0 after we were temporarily just a 10-man with Saka's injury, and then soon after that, Phil Foden makes it 2, celebrates with Pep, and I'm thinking, okay, now we're in a bit of trouble. And I wasn't really surprised either. Despite a strong lineup, despite being the holders, we've really struggled recently. We only just overcame lower league Morecambe in the FA Cup third round by a 0-0. We've had our first defeat in the Premier League coming at the hands of Aston Villa away at Villa Park. We've had quite a few draws since then, and we just haven't really been quite as good as we were at the start of the season. Then in the second half, trailing by 2, did everything I could to get back in the game and get an away goal. We saw Saka fire just wide, then Kieran Tierney have a goal disallowed for offside, which was the correct decision in what was a terrible first leg result. 2-0, no away goals getting scored, and again, a bit of a sign of the times for Arsenal right now. You started the season off just on red hot form, absolutely lights out, win after win after win after win. Amazing 100% record win, winning run in the Premier League, only to be eventually halted by our London rivals, Chelsea, from West London at Stamford Bridge in that 1-1 draw at the Emirates. And then we started to realise, okay, we're not superhuman, an invincible season's going to be tough to do. Then we had the first defeat of the campaign against Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League group finale. Not that it really mattered, as we'd already guaranteed top spot basically heading into the game anyway. But then we had the first defeat in the Premier League to Aston Villa, and since then we've just not really recovered. We're doing okay, but something's just not quite right at the moment. And that's why, heading in to the second game of today's episode, the Baggies coming to take us on at the Emirates Stadium, thinking, right, this should be a banker, surely. We missed an early chance through Lalong in for the injured Saka, and then West Brom scored a rebound goal. And for some reason, in this first half an hour, I just could not get the ball off the visitors. They were playing some absolutely scintillating football as well. Scored their second a few minutes after their first, and at half-time, we were 2-0 down at home in a game which I thought would be a banker against West Brom. And I was thinking, okay, something's changed. Something has changed here, because at the moment this is just not working the way it was at the start of the season. So I thought, right, just like in the Man City game, down by 2 in the break, second half, got to get back in it. Couldn't find a goal at the Etihad Stadium. 13 minutes after the restart, found their goal to half the deficit through Luis Suarez, making it 2-1, going for back-to-back golden boots, and then 69 minutes into the game, still trailing by 1. A defeat in this game would be a disaster. Suarez rolls through Reece Nelson down left-hand side, gets in behind the back line and rounds the goalkeeper, only to have his shot blocked. But thankfully, he keeps the chance alive, putting the pressure on, wins it back, plays a 1-2 with Lalong, and turns in the second effort and makes it 2-2. He's about back from 2 goals down to claim a point, but it's still quite a poor result, and again, much for me to ponder at full time. The fans are not happy. This has been the toughest part of the season. Look, you're always going to have this. Every single season, you'll always have a tough patch of form. It's practically impossible to go through an entire season in football and be perfect, right from the first minute to the last of football. As you see our draw for the FA Cup 4th round here, how fitting is this? The Clarets, Burnley, our former team, coming to take us on the Emirates Stadium, obviously relegated from last year's Premier League. And real briefly on this as well, how frustrating is that? You know, we built them up so well in the 3 seasons we were using them. We made them into a Europa League standard team. We gave them Europa League football, the FA Cup, back-to-back FA Cup finals, and technically 2 straight seasons in Europa League was due to our handling of the team. We gave them some great young talent. They were set up so well. And now they've just, in 2 seasons, gone down to the Championship. It's so frustrating the way that AI mismanage clubs sometimes in FIFA. But anyway, we've got Burnley in the FA Cup 4th round there, so fingers crossed we should be able to make it for our former team and get through to the 5th round, as once again we try and retain a domestic cup we won last season. But yeah, it's you know, fitting. Every single season you're going to struggle at some point, but this is not the time we needed to struggle. December, so many games. January, so many games. Big ones in the Cups, again with the semi-final Carabao Cup, big Premier League games. We've got Chelsea now away at Stamford Bridge. This is the worst time to be struggling. But what did I say very recently? You know, when this sort of stuff starts happening, don't sulk about it. Don't moan about it. Don't complain about it. No, just work harder. Like Boxer in Animal Farm. Anyone read that book? Work harder, you know. Get yourself back on it. Get yourself feeling good about yourself. And most importantly, don't sulk, you know, don't complain. Just work harder and do better. So, yeah, against Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, West London, a poor run of form right now, and Spurs licking their lips and closing the gap on us as we still lead the way for now in the Premier League. But the points gap has been greatly reduced. Needed to return to winning ways here. Started the game off looking the better team of 36 minutes in. Oh, and I need someone to turn it on for me. It's so often this guy. Former Claret, Reece Nelson makes it 1-0 and gives us the lead 9 minutes before the break. Chelsea almost found their leveller in the second half and would have done so had it not been for a brilliant save by Jan Oblak. He's now up to 94 overall, highest rated goalkeeper in the game. Makes a smart save there, low down to his right hand side after the initial brilliant one-on-one stop. And you know, I mentioned before, this is the difference that having a goalkeeper like Oblak makes to our team. When our defense is breached, and it will get breached from time to time, so I'm not the best defender. When it does, Jan Oblak is often there to bail me out. He's made some incredible one-on-one saves since he came in to start the season for Atletico. Big one there, kept us leading by a goal. And whilst we couldn't find a second in the end, that was all we needed. Reece Nelson's goal separates the sides, and we return to winning ways with a big 3 points there against our London rivals. So yeah, we're going to struggle at times. We're going to go into bad form at times, don't get me wrong, but don't sulk. Don't complain, just get back up out there and do your best to try and get back into good form. So, falling out, we had a bit for Bernd Leno, you would have seen for the Chelsea game, and we sold him as well to West Ham for £23.5. I kind of like this as well because obviously we know recently, I'll say recently, a few years ago, West Ham did sign a backup Arsenal goalkeeper that became their first choice, Lukasz Fabianski, the Pole, of course, going to West Ham. Was he released from Arsenal though? I can't remember now. But West Ham picked up Fabianski regardless from the Gunners, and now they've bought Bernd Leno from us as well. I thought that was really fitting there, you know, going to West Ham, staying in London, not needing to relocate. And again, being a bench goalkeeper at 85 overall, we just didn't really need him. Ramsdale was more than good enough as a backup goalkeeper in this team at 80 overall. Leno is 33, so I thought that was kind of fitting there, you know, staying in London, going to West Ham, not needing to relocate, and also as well, with West Ham buying a former Arsenal goalkeeper that became their number 1 in Lukasz Fabianski. I like the fact they've done that again, this time with Bernd Leno, as he goes to West Ham for £23.5 million. So yeah, Leno gone, and again, we've got just shy of £60 million in our bank balance now, with over a week to go in the January transfer window. The question is, do we reinvest the money and buy someone in this January window, or do we leave things as they are and have a much bigger transfer budget next season? I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to think about it. We don't really need strengthening anyway. Yes, we haven't been in great form recently, but the team is really good. I just haven't been playing very well. But yeah, not too sure about that. Do we make a signing towards the end of the transfer window of just under 60 million, or do we watch it carry over to next season and have, most likely, considering what we've got this season, a plus £200 million summer transfer budget? It's a difficult decision, but I think I know which one I'm leaning towards at the moment. Anyway, Leeds was our 4th and final game of today's episode here. We beat them by 3-0, scoring early through Suarez, then Reece Nelson scored a lovely solo goal, and then Gabriel Martinelli off the bench got his first of the season in the Premier League, and a 3-0 victory there as we get back-to-back clean sheets and back-to-back wins, and hopefully we're getting back to good form as we aim to stay top of the table. Also, to end today's episode off, I did notice this, Kieran Tierney and Luis Suarez have now both hit 90 overall themselves, so buzzing without the captain and last year's top goal scorer now into the 90 club alongside Jan Oblak and Bukayo Saka as well. Who's going to join him next? Reece Nelson or Emil Smith-Rowe? Place your bets. But that was this episode of the Realistic CM, guys. So a big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. And if you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. And on the back of back-to-back wins, we remain top with 14 games to go ahead of our North London rivals. The question is, can we stay there? Have a great day. Much love. And I'll see you for the next episode featuring the F Cup 4th round against our former team Burnley. The second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final against Man City as well, as we try and overcome the deficit very soon.